All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to unpack what is arguably one of the biggest shifts in pharma submissions in, well, over 20 years, the new ICH M4QR2 guideline. And look, this is not just some minor tweak. We're talking about a complete reinvention of how a drug's quality story gets told. It's about moving from a static, check-the-box document to a living, breathing narrative.
And that's a totally fair question to ask. M4QR was an absolute game changer back in 2002. It created a common format that, let's be honest, saved everyone a ton of headaches. But just think for a second about how much the world has changed since then. We've gone completely digital. We're dealing with incredibly complex biologics and advanced therapies. The old system, for all its strengths, just wasn't built for this new reality.
Okay, this table really gets to the heart of it. It lays out the massive philosophical shift. Before, it was all about putting the right piece of info in the right box. A very format-driven approach, right? But that often led to this fragmented story where your justifications were scattered all over the place. Now, the whole focus is on building an integrated, cohesive narrative that's actually based on science and risk. The goal isn't just about standardizing where the information goes anymore. It's about enabling true knowledge management that can support a drug for its entire life.
So, here's the game plan for this explainer. We've already touched on why this update is so critical. Next, we're going to go deep on the new philosophy behind it. Then we'll deconstruct the whole new structure, see what it means for lifecycle management and best practices, and finally we'll take a peek at the future of submissions.
And that brings us to the fundamental idea here. M4QR2 is trying to change the very way we think about a regulatory submission. It's not a static snapshot in time anymore. It's designed to be a dynamic, living story.
The old way? People often called it a juxtaposition of summaries. And that's a great way to put it. Seriously, picture an old-school library card catalog. Yeah, all the data's there, but it's on all these separate, disconnected cards. There's no single thread connecting them. You'd find the same info repeated in different sections. It was just massively inefficient for both the company submitting and the poor reviewer trying to make sense of it.
And this is the new vision. So instead of that dusty old card catalog, think of it more like a modern, searchable database. M4Q's R2 is all about transforming the submission into an integrated knowledge management system, one that's built for digital tools, one that's ready for data analysis, and one that's capable of telling a product's complete quality story right from day one.
Now, this right here might just be the most powerful concept in the entire guideline. It completely redefines the jobs of the two main quality modules. Just think of it like this. Module 2.3 is now the narrative brain. It's where you tell the story, you explain the why, and you lay out your whole strategy. Module 3 then becomes the technical body, basically the clean, organized library of all the raw data and reports that provide the hard evidence for the story that the brain is telling. Brain and body working together.
So, that's the philosophy, but how does it actually translate into a practical structure? Let's roll up our sleeves and break down the new blueprint for the common technical document.
So Module 2.3 has been totally redesigned. It's got these 5 key sections now, and while they're all important, we're going to focus on the 2 real heavy hitters, the Overall Control Strategy, or OCS, and the Core Quality Information, or CQI. These 2 sections are where this new narrative-driven approach really comes to life. First up, the OCS. Now, don't think of this as just a simple list of tests you run. It's so much more. Think of it as your strategic manifesto for quality. It's the place where you connect all the dots and really argue how all your different controls, from your raw materials all the way to the final product, work together as a single system to absolutely guarantee quality.
And then we have the Core Quality Information, or CQI. So if the OCS is your strategy, the CQI is the essential DNA of your product's quality. And here's the key thing. This isn't just for getting that initial approval. No way. It's designed to be a living section of your dossier that you have to update and maintain through the entire product lifecycle.
Okay, so to bring some order to all this new information, M4QR2 introduces this really simple but incredibly powerful organizing principle. It's called the DMCS model. And basically, for every single component, doesn't matter if it's the drug substance or an excipient, the information will be structured under these 4 headings: description, manufacture, control, and storage. This standardization is going to make finding and reviewing information so much more efficient for everyone.
So we've got the new philosophy, and we've got the new structure. But how do you actually prepare for this kind of shift? Let's talk about putting M4Q R2 into action.
So how do you get ready? Well, experts are all saying the same thing.
This is not a simple copy-paste job. First off, strategic planning is everything. You absolutely need a core team with regulatory, CMC, and publishing experts all at the table from day one to build that cohesive story. Second, you need modern tools. This is a data-heavy process, so things like RIM systems are pretty much essential for managing all that granular data. Third, with a more complex story, rigorous QC before you submit is non-negotiable. You have to make sure the brain and the body are perfectly in sync. And finally, you have to standardize and train. Everybody on the team needs to become fluent in this new way of storytelling.
So, to wrap things up, it's really important to understand that M4QR2 isn't the final destination, not by a long shot. It's a critical step on a much longer journey.
And here's a look at the official timeline. We're expecting the draft guideline in 2025. That's followed by a concept paper for the next phase, SPQS, in 2026. The finalization of this M4QR2 guideline is currently slated for 2027, which, it gives the industry a clear runway to really adapt to these huge changes.
And this slide really shows the ultimate goal. See, M4QR2 is just step one. It's about building the narrative framework and getting the data organized. Step 2, the real endgame, is something called SPQS, Structured Product Quality Submissions. We're talking about a future where we move completely beyond PDF documents and instead submit pure structured data that regulators can analyze instantly with AI and advanced analytics. M4QR2 is the essential foundation that's being laid right now for that revolutionary future.
So here's the crucial point. This new guideline, it's about so much more than just shuffling sections around in a document. It's about a new way of thinking, a new way of working, and a new way of communicating. It's challenging everyone to move beyond just presenting fragmented data and instead to tell a clear, justified, and truly cohesive quality story. So the real question is your organization ready to start writing